Folks, what is up and welcome back to CCL Sports Cards, where in today's episode, we're going to talk about 4 prospects who have absolutely been demolishing the ball over their last 14 games in the minors. And it just maybe time to put them on your radar, so stay tuned. Hi, Jen. That's my producer. Folks, welcome back to CCL Sports Cards, as I said in the intro, we're going to talk about 4 prospects who have been absolutely killing the ball in minor league baseball. But before we get to that, I do want to point out that the last little while in sports cards, if you're a baseball card investor or collector, it's really been quite tough. And I am going to do a subsequent episode on how difficult it has been. And with regards to prospects, it has been, I'm not sure about your experience, but my experience prospecting has been horrendous. But with all that said, as prices continue to come down at a rapid pace and things are being dropped by 25%, maybe even 50% on what feels like a daily basis, it is time to sort of put some of these prospects on your radar. Guys who are playing really well, whose cards are just becoming cheaper and cheaper by the day. We're going to start off by talking about Boston Red Sox prospect, Nick Yorke, currently playing in Double-A for Portland. Now, Nick Yorke was a big-time prospect, and he still is for the Red Sox, but he had an absolutely dreadful campaign in 2022. But he's turned all of it around this year and has been killing the ball lately. But it hasn't been helping his card prices, whereas just a couple of days ago, in 2020 Bowman Draft Chrome, which is where his cards can be found, his purple auto in PSA 9 with a 10 auto, it went for $86, just $86. And guys, this is the time to pick up fellas like this. He's just 21 and in Double-A, far from an afterthought. Over his last 14 games, in case you missed it, Nick Yorke has been hitting .392 with 2 dingers and a whole whack of RBIs. So I'm not saying to run out and buy everybody. As card prices continue to soften, just put these guys on your radar. Then we're going to move on to another guy I can't wait to talk about in Cade Doughty, currently of the Toronto Blue Jays, playing in High A Vancouver. Now, over his last 14 games, Cade has hit .367 with a very impressive 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. You guys know I love stuff like that. He had 1 home run and 14 RBIs. What's really interesting about Cade and his card prices, right now you can find his 2022 Bowman Draft Chrome Auto in raw condition for about $10. He's only 22 years old and at High A, so it's not like he's old. But what I find really appealing or interesting about Cade as I loaded up on his cards over the course of the winter when Draft was released is everybody was hot to trot for Tucker Toman, who right now is in High A Dunedin. And to be perfectly blunt, I don't even think he's hitting his weight right now. But people just kind of cast Cade Doughty to the side and took all the Tucker Toman they could get their hands on. I imagine his card prices aren't doing very well. And I'm not saying that to slight anybody, just it seems to happen very often in cards. People will chase who everybody else is chasing, and that was Tucker Toman. And they'll just cast the Cade Doughties to the side. But moving on to the next prospect, we're going to talk about a guy I've liked for a long time, but whose prices have been just crushed lately. An orange in PSA 10 just sold for I think it was $435 just this past Sunday. And as a guy who owns 2 of his oranges, that hurts the pocketbook a little bit. I'm not going to sell anytime soon. Max is just 20. He's in High A Hickory, and he is just demolishing the ball at 20 years old. And he has been since the start of the year, except for 1 week where he kind of, fizzled out a little bit. Over his last 14 games, Max Acosta is hitting .361. That is absolutely incredible. And because he was promoted from Low A to High A and he continues to excel, that makes me want to buy more of his cards, and especially because they're dirt cheap. We're going to wrap up by talking about Pittsburgh Pirates outfield prospect Shaylen Polanco, whose card can be found in 2021 Bowman Chrome. Now, Shaylen Polanco was a huge rage when 2021 Bowman Chrome came out. And he kind of scuffled when he was in rookie ball, and like most prospects, his cards just went into the toilet, which is, awful. But these days, you can pick up his 2021 Bowman Chrome prospect auto in a refractor number to 499 in PSA 10 for as little as like 35 bucks. That was a couple of weeks ago. And just recently, I think this past Saturday, one sold for $65. Dirt cheap. The kid's 19 years old, and he is currently experiencing his best run in professional baseball. Like, now is the time to buy this guy. You can pick him up for next to nothing. And to give you an idea of what his stats look like, Shaylin has hit .314 with 2 homers. I think he has something like 5 or 6 on the season. So he's having a great year for the low A Bradenton Pirates. I want to reiterate that it's important to note that the price of prospects is just coming way, way down. And it may remain this way for a while. So buy selectively, but certainly buy guys who maybe you're scuffling, or maybe whose prices are dirt cheap and they're quite young, are showing they can do it in pro ball, and you have some runway. Folks, that's it. That's all for this week in prospects. Again, take a good look at those 4 guys. I like them all. I'm not saying it's time to buy them, but as prices come in, these are guys who are showing they can do it in minor league ball. Remember, anything said on this channel is strictly my opinion and should be taken as such. I appreciate all of you and want to wish you an absolutely fabulous finish to your week. Take care, folks.